New reveals are incoming. A Genesis Part 2 server is being bug tested. A possible second mod map to join the roster. And an overview of ARK Mobile and any planned updates. You're right kids, it's Ras Clark and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around and let's get into it. So the community crunch dropped last night revealing there are upcoming things that we haven't seen before in ARK. Twitch Gaming, a channel seemingly ran by Twitch themselves, where they host a weekly talk show and podcast about what's hot in the world of video games. Well, it's Wildcard's turn for the spotlight to be shone upon them. They are going to be featured on their weekly show on Thursday the 27th of May next week. The devs go on to say, come hang out as we chat about Genesis 2 and hang out with the community. Oh, and we'll be sharing something you haven't seen before. Wink wink. So this could be set up for something special. Is it the Vin Diesel interview I discussed yesterday? Possibly not. This seems like it's going to be a one-to-one between Wildcard and Twitch Gaming. However, don't forget, Vin Diesel does work for Wildcard now. He has a title, he has a role within the company. So he could possibly make an appearance here. However, I'm guessing now in the lead up to Genesis Part 2, coupled with the delay and to keep the hype train going, I believe we are going to get new reveals for Genesis Part 2. So make sure to tune in Thursday the 27th at 9:30am PST, which is of course 5:30pm in the UK and 2:30am in Australia. So if you are asleep and do miss it, don't worry, I will be covering this and doing a video on it, I'm very sure. And I do believe this is going to be the first time we're going to see Genesis 2 as the map in-game during this stream. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But don't confuse this with the community live streams that Wildcard do. It's not their Twitch account. It's the Twitch Gaming account. And if you've got a profile set up, you can go on their channel right now and set a reminder so you don't forget to watch what I believe is going to be a great teaser for Genesis Part 2. Within the community crunch, they also ran down the new pictures and reveals they went through in the last week, all of which I covered in great depth, and I'll leave a link in the description if you missed out on these. But they were of course the mini boss summoner, the anticipated flying dolphin, the Astro Delphis, and then of course the big reveal Genesis 2 key art. Oh, and you've got an evolution event this weekend, a bit of 2x breeding, taming, harvesting, XP and hexagon bonus, so get involved and make use of these awesome multipliers. Oh, and they featured a very good friend of mine, Captain Fat Dog, building the Millennium Falcon in ARK. It's the Millennium Falcon, what more can be said? If you're into Star Wars, you know what this is. Go and watch it, I'll leave a link in the description. So shout out once again to Hannah Otter, Hannah Norman, as she's called on her Twitch channel, go check it out. Hannah once again did some digging and found some more information about a server that's hosting Genesis Part 2 that's being either filmed on or used for bug reports, or maybe even being set up and ready for this Twitch stream next week. Once again, I'm not going to go into detail on who's playing on this server, but what I can tell you, there are a lot of people on this server, all that I assume are working for Wildcard in some form or other, and appear to have spent a great deal of time on this map. It's on in-game day 1582. It's good to know a server out there exists and it's being used in some shape or form, but I do feel sure with the recent volume of players that have been on there, they are setting this up for the Twitch stream next week. Fingers crossed, let's hope. So, Jukari, who I covered last weekend, an excellent video producer who freelances for Wildcard and is working on something special called The Lost Stories, which I'm really looking forward to, giving his own imaginative take on a story within the ARK universe. Made, of course, a trailer for the map Fjorda. It's a huge polished mod map out there that I do believe, as I said last weekend, is going to be the next official mod map we'll see in ARK Survival Evolved, and I will be covering this in the near future. Well, he released a new trailer on the map Glacius. The name somewhat gives it away, a frozen wasteland, where you'll be battling the elements with biome appropriate creatures, harsh landscapes and frozen tunnels. And by the attention that Jukari has given this, I am wondering whether this is going to be a potential second mod map for ARK Survival Evolved. Now I know ARK mod maps are once in a blue moon, we see them once a year, so why on earth would you see two of these coming so quick to ARK Survival Evolved? Because I've got a theory that post Genesis Part 2, Wildcard are going to go mod mad. once the storm calms down and Wildcard are going full steam into ARK 2, they are going to want us to playtest everything they can to see what works and what doesn't work for ARK 2. And I think they are really going to go to town on dropping mod maps, maybe even in-game mod adaptations. Wildcard have recently said that they would love nothing more than to see mods on console. Is it possible that we might see mods on console in the near future, in some form or other? Xbox possibly, but on PlayStation, I think they're going to have a real game to get through Sony's process to allow them to use mods. So they need to tackle this from a new direction, whereby they are perhaps seen as in-game assets as opposed to an external mod. All food for thought, but I'm just hopeful that we might see something in the near future. So for those of you that haven't noticed, Genesis Part 2 has actually gone through 3 different variations of the logo. So we had the initial logo that was revealed at the end of the trailer that had quite a technological approach wrapped around by Rockwell's tentacle. This was then changed to an even more Rockwell's inspired logo with a tentacle wrapping around it, and you can see Rockwell's garden literally taking over as if it's split between the 2 biomes of the tech trenches and Rockwell's garden. Well, this has now changed again to the final version of the Genesis 2 logo. All of the Rockwell tentacles, Rockwell's garden that was taking over the logo has now gone, revealing a very clean tech-based logo that's of course on purpose split between light and dark, blue and purple. Survivor versus Rockwell, mankind versus evil. This is it, as per the key art. And I think it alludes to something that of course we didn't expect anyway. If we look back at the first logo that was of course split between red, blue and green in the colours and grid of the map, which was of course used again by Scorched Earth, done away somewhat with Aberration, and of course abolished with Extinction, but then of course brought back but overtaken by technology, encompassing it further with Genesis 2. I am now wondering, what is the terminal transfer system going to be? Of course Genesis Part 1 was used with the terminals you would do missions from as your point of transfer, and whilst missions do still exist in Genesis 2, they're going to be a very separate entity and not dotted across the map, so there possibly might be a new terminal system. And we've not got long left to wait, plus 1 week. June the 2nd is now the new date. If you haven't caught the delay news, where have you been? I've got a video on that, I'll leave a link in the description. So a Mr. Samurai left a comment on one of my videos asking, are they going to bring any update to ARK Mobile with the release of the Gen 2 map update, and that they still don't have tech dinos and more stuff. If you don't know what ARK Mobile is, it's obviously ARK on mobile. What's worth noting, this isn't developed and supported by Wildcard, who of course make the core game. It's headed up by Grove Street Games, that have made ARK Mobile a very different offering with very different additions and exclusions, ultimately making it a fresh experience. And of course a lot of you play it. Although I've never played this, what I am intrigued by is the procedural generated dungeon systems that they released with Update 2.0, where every week you had a chance to win new tech items. I may cover this more in depth in the future, but what I do know is, support wise there has been updates. In fact, the most recent one was only last month, where interestingly they removed all ads from the game, which I assume would be their revenue intake, but of course giving you a better gameplay experience, with a new eerie turret and adjustment to caves. But what this proves is at least being supported. Now there's no mention, I've looked through their Twitter page, their website, there's no mention of when the next update is coming and what it's going to entail. But the point I'm trying to make is it's being supported, updates are coming, and if you're not already, go follow Grove Street Games, who of course will provide any updates on what happens next. Thanks all for watching, I hope you enjoyed this. What do you think about this upcoming stream next week? I am so excited, I really hope this is going to be something awesome and refreshing, and we're going to see the actual map of Genesis Part 2 finally, as a playable server exists out there. My name's Ross Clark, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always, peace out.